I mean, coming from Delhi NCR, like, and going into that sort of environment, as soon as you're there, you understand that, wow, I've lived in a bubble my whole life. So, but personally, what I tried to do was just to be like, okay, like, you need to be open to learning anything and everything, and you need to be open to understanding other people's perspectives, because the narratives and the stories in the United States are so different from what we go through over here in India, and especially not just us in India, but like our group of, like, my peers, for example, and like my friends at Shriram, or even like other schools, our like lives are extremely, extremely jaded, and we're completely in a bubble. So I think the first thing that I decided was like, like, I just need to unlearn everything, and I need to be open to learning more things. So, the whole concept of like sharing your pronouns, of course, that was all very new to me, but it didn't take too long with the mindset that I had to adapt and adjust to that, because I think you just need to be very open to learning new things and like looking at other people's perspectives. So, yeah.
Great. So in terms of academic choices that you started making, I know you went in thinking biology and
Mhm.
also pursued it. But did you find the gen eds and particularly some courses that really have still stayed with you in terms of what you learned or professor experiences that were great?
Yeah. So I went into it thinking that, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to be a biology major for sure. And I think until like my like second semester of my junior year, I was pretty sure that that's what I wanted to do. But it got like progressively tougher, and some of the classes that I took just like completely brought my morale down. But also, I started developing an interest in anthropology, which I was not really exposed to over here, because like we weren't really. I didn't even know that it was something that I could study up until I went to Bryn Mawr.
Yeah, so I'll switch to the next question, and you could
Okay.
even mention a bit about the gen eds and anthropology, what
Mm-hmm.
we were discussing. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting that you had that experience of being in a liberal arts college environment where
Mm-hmm.
you have flexibility in terms of gen eds, and then you can even change your mind if you have to sort of plans kind of change.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a bit about things that you took along the way, and then finally what was the biology major like? What did it really entail in terms of meeting requirements, and what are the
Mm-hmm.
specializations that you pursued while doing the bio major?
Mm-hmm. So the bio major in like at Bryn Mawr is it's pretty hard. I mean, thankfully the bio department is it's a very good department, say for a few professors, of course. But they're all very sweet. They're all very understanding, and but like they put a lot of focus on in any STEM major, actually they put a lot of focus on allied sciences. So it's not that you're only taking bio courses throughout to fulfill requirements. You have to take at least three allied sciences, whether that's computer science, physics, math. In some cases, anthropology counts. So some of my anthropology courses counted towards my allied sciences requirements. So they do put a lot of focus on that. And of course, there's like 2 semesters of Gen Chem that you have to like, I mean, as much as you want to get out of it, you have to do 2 semesters of Gen Chem. And that's fine, because it was easy because I did chemistry in IB, and you get through it. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty smooth sailing. By the end of it, you have an option to either do a research-based thesis, or you can do a semester of a senior seminar where you write a shorter version of a thesis, basically. And that's what I did. Because I think very early on in my time at Bryn Mawr, I kind of realized that like research is not for me. um and I'd really like some people can do it, but I really hate the idea of being cooped up in a lab. It stresses me out. So yeah, I didn't really. I mean, they have a program called a summer science research program that where you can get in touch with professors and stay back for the summer and like assist them with their research. And I tried applying for one summer, but it didn't work out. And also like in hindsight, I really would not have enjoyed that. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities within the bio department, but also within the STEM department. Even if you're a bio major, you can work with a chemistry professor. It doesn't have to be within your discipline. So yeah.
Great. So that actually gives us a pretty good idea of how life sciences are, in a way, not just one thing that you study, it's connected.
Mhm.
Also the different tracks and the thesis. So what are the topics within life sciences that interested you more? And if you were to pursue it further, what would you have considered doing?
So I think from all the classes that I took, I saw a trend in A, genomics, and B, evolution. So um uh, the most classes that I took were either evolution based or genomics based, and there were two professors that really, I don't know if it was because I like the subject, or whether it was because the professors like were really amazing. But there were two professors. One, his name was Josh Shapiro, who left. He left Bryn Mawr now, and one is called Greg Davis, who was my major advisor actually, and he's the head of the bio department, but also specializes in um, developmental biology and evolution of embryos and such. So I was really interested in his work and his research, and I took a lot of classes with him. So I think, and coming back to evolution, that's also really tied in with anthropology again. So I think that would have been an avenue that I would really have loved to pursue. Unfortunately, could not.
So let's
But
let's
yeah,
talk a little bit about anthropology,
yeah.
since not many students have, actually not anyone. I mean, so it'll be fun to just understand what does
Mhm.
anthropology mean to you in particular,
Mhm.
and where do you see opportunities for
Mhm.
students who take that discipline up
Mhm.
in terms of careers, sort of end up.
Mhm. So, for those that don't know, anthropology is the study of humans, basically, right? Anything and everything to do with humans. So, when I'm talking about anthropology right now, I'm talking about biological anthropology, which is like the study of bones and how the Homo sapien has evolved. And most of the anthropology classes that I took were focused on biological anthropology, and yeah, I took one course, I think my junior year. It was called forensic anthropology, which was basically we were just analyzing a bunch of bones and of like dead people, but it was like to show how forensic specialists like figure out how a person had been killed or has died. Or and it was really interesting because all these like shows that we watch, online, about like all these murder mysteries and stuff, and how they, and the detective shows that we watch, and how they like figure out, it was really really interesting, because like I was drawing these parallels between the two of them. And I like, you never know until you learn about it, and when you learn about it, it's like, wow, that's so cool. So yeah, I think forensic research is one avenue that is potentially interesting if you do study anthropology. Second is obviously research. You can do all kinds of research. You can do evolution, like developmental evolution, like what Greg does, or you can also like become an excavator and like figure out like,
Okay.
it's there's a lot of things
Yeah.
that you
So
can.
that's